What's that? You think that I should maybe, finish a single fanfic on my channel? You think that the fact that I've started so many and I haven't finished a single one says that I have commitment issues? Nah, that's insane. That's crazy. Doesn't make any sense at all. Anyways, we're starting a new fanfiction. It's called My Father is a Dark Lord, and I read, the first chapter and, half of the second chapter before I was like, wow, reading this out loud would make it 20,000 times funnier. It's a crack fic, and it is a to marry fic, so, if you have an issue with that, and if you don't know what that is, Google it. If you do know what it is and you're good with it, that's great. If you're not good with it, go away. Also, this is a mature fic. It are for the big childrens. It is not for the small ones. Because, I hate myself. Because I don't embarrass myself enough on this cringy channel. I have decided that it's a good idea to just read something that's got, the sauciness in it. Because, anyways, it's by Temptresslove on AO3. And the summary is, as Harry opens his mouth to scream, Lucius does as well, but the words that come out of their mouth are entirely different. When all Harry heard from himself was a gibberish cry, Lucius's voice echoed loud and clear. My lord, there's a baby in here! Okay, so, chapter 1. It starts, like all things, when Harry makes a stupid decision of using himself as a human shield. For the Chosen One, TM. Neville Longbottom was supposed to defeat the Dark Lord. He has long been prophesized as the savior who will vanquish the evil Lord Voldemort once and for all. But he couldn't exactly do that when he was getting hit by a stray spell from behind. If Neville died, they would all die. So what did Harry do? Dove in like an idiot to protect him. Not block the spell, not try to cancel, not even maybe try to scream at Neville and warn him that the spell is going to hit him. No. Harry decided to be his own version of a hero. He uses his body as a shield, like an idiot. They say when you are about to die, your whole life flashes before you. The spell makes its way towards him as if in slow motion, but all Harry could think about was what the spell would do to him. It could be something as simple as a tickling charm, maybe a stupefy, or a killing curse, really. When it finally hits him, it doesn't hurt, because, Harry's colorblind, so he can't tell if it's a tickling charm, or stupefy, which would be red, or a killing curse, which would be bright green, either he's colorblind or he didn't bother to learn the colors of spells, because it's not important to know when you're about to die, who cares? When it finally hits him, it doesn't hurt. Harry giggles stupidly to himself. Of course he wasn't going to die, that was silly, and then everything went black. When he wakes up, it's to a cold, dark room. For a moment, Harry ponders if this was the afterlife. Abyss. Everything was grey and cold. There didn't seem to be a hint of life anywhere. One could say it was truly abysmal. Harry bites his lip to keep the laughter inside. He was so funny. But why did... Harry stops and tries to bite his lip again. Why couldn't he bite his lips? He feels his teeth with his tongue and finds nothing there. Harry couldn't believe it. Was the spell that hit him made him toothless? He was going to sue Neville for this. Fuck, Harry swears. Harry stops again. Why did that come out as goo goo gaga? Did you hear that? A voice asked urgently. Hear what? A lazy female voice answered. The sound just now. You're just being paranoid, the woman says matter-of-factly. Harry tries to sit up and see, but he can't. The effort was too much for him. But he didn't have to, because at that moment, wow, I can't talk today at all. Unfortunate. Because at that moment, two faces stared down at him. One was blonde and looked exactly like Draco? No, this man had harder lines in his face than Draco's did not possess. This was Draco's father, Lord Voldemort's infamous, brutal right-hand man, Lucius. Then, that must mean that the curly-headed lady next to him was the Dark Lord's strongest combatant, the crazy Bellatrix Lestrange. As Harry's eyes widened, so did theirs. Nope, that's not fixing it. There's, this huge... yeah, it is. Sorry. As Harry's eyes widen, so do theirs. As Harry opens his mouth to scream, Lucius does as well. But the words that come out of their mouth are entirely different. When all Harry heard from himself was a gibberish cry, Lucius's voice echoes loud and clear. "My lord, there's a baby in here!" And that is 5 minutes. I think the other one's pretty short too. I think that this will go up to like 14 minutes maybe if I do both of them. So yeah. And the author's note in this is like, I feel called out when this author's note is totally talking about herself. Is she finally going to be one of those authors who have multiple unfinished fics and you never know when the next update is going to be? Ha! And I was like, Because, yeah, I have a lot, too. Okay, next. Chapter 2. It's a spy! Idiot, Bellatrix says. It can't be a spy. It's just a wee baby. Lucius looks aghast. Just because it's just a baby doesn't mean it can't be a spy. Lucius pokes the baby suspiciously. It could be carrying spying devices. It's wearing its birthday suit, Bellatrix defends, which is exactly why they should really call it a he, Harry thinks. They've been looking around and poking at him for quite some time now, while Harry was wondering what on earth was going on. He lifts his hand and saw small chubby hands, touched his cheeks and felt they were unusually squishy. Any words he said came out as gibberish, and he still couldn't sit up. "Ah, my lord," Lucius calls. "Here!" The blonde beckons for someone to come to where they are. Harry heard footsteps, and after a few moments there were not just 2, but 3 heads looking down at him. The newest addition was the most handsome man Harry had ever seen in his life. Thick, wavy hair falling from his head, aristocratic cheekbones in his face, and the most gorgeous brown eyes Harry has ever seen. The most gorgeous brown eyes Harry has ever set his eyes on. The handsome man was looking at Harry intently, and Harry, even as a baby, could feel himself blushing. He was naked! The handsome man could probably see his Lord Voldemort. Do you think it's a spy? Lord Voldemort! The handsome fellow, who looked like a model for Calvin Klein, was bald, no-nosed, red-eyed Voldemort. Mass murderer, tyrant, ruthless, merciless Voldemort. And just like that, Harry breathes hard into his tiny little lungs and begins to cry. "My lord," Lucius says respectfully as he can, "I think you made it cry." "Impertinence," Bellatrix says. "It's because thy lord is so terrifying that it's crying." "Sure," Lucius agrees half-heartedly, feeling quite proud that his own handsome face could not make babies cry. Bellatrix was right. Just this man's name was enough to terrify the whole wizarding world, and all the awful tales Harry has heard about him all came back to him. He was probably going to be tortured, all for saving Neville's not even per ass. Then the unthinkable happens. Lord Voldemort reaches out and ruffles Harry's hair. Harry's so surprised that he forgets he was crying. "See," the man says, voice rich and low. He could read for movies, too. "He's not crying because of me." Bellatrix claps happily beside him. "Of course not, my lord. You are far too handsome to ever scare a child." Harry was tempted to cry again just for that comment, but he couldn't. He was too terrified to even move. "Now," Lord Voldemort says, looking skeptically at Harry. How Harry ever thought his cold eyes were ever gorgeous, Harry didn't know. "What should we do with you? They say when you are about to die, your whole life flashes before you." But as the most wanted man in wizarding history looks at him, all Harry could think about was what horror this Dark Lord was going to unleash upon a mere baby. Skin him alive, cruciate him, kill him. There was only one choice left, and if Harry wanted to live. Wow, Harry coos as adorably as he could. He was trying to say Lord Voldemort, though no one could understand. Harry sincerely hopes that the man could find him innocent enough to be left alone. "He's saying my name," the man said with an amused smirk. "Indeed," Lucius says in wonder. "How peculiar." "Do you think," Bellatrix stares at him in amazement, "my lord, do you think this baby is a genius?" The Dark Lord stares back at him. Harry blinks back. Harry was not a genius, but if this was how he was going to survive... No, the Dark Lord dismisses, still looking thoroughly amused. "I think he just wants to amuse me." Harry doesn't move again, scared of how this man could breed him so easily. So Harry giggles instead, pretending to be the innocent baby who didn't know anything of the world. He comes out high and happy, as if he was delighted to see the Dark Lord. Whoa, 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 whoa. He sounds like a dog. I'm bad. Harry reaches out and puts his chubby hands on either side of the most dangerous man, both alive and dead. Goo goo gaga. Harry pats him on the cheek, praying to Merlin or to Jesus, whoever was listening, that this man would let him live. Okay, so that was chapter 1 and 2 of My Father is a Dark Lord by Temptress Love on AO3. And yeah, I'm going to make another video right now before I upload these. And the reason why I never finish any of my fics so far is because, they take so long to upload, and by the time that the episode is finished upload, I'm not in the mood to read that fic anymore, so I find other ones, and then it's just like, oh, I want to read this instead, yeah. Ones that are most likely not to be finished, for sure, are, Age of Charon, and maybe 7th Horcrux, but, you know, we'll see.